All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the stream. Welcome. If you're new, thank you guys so much for being here, and thank you for joining me today. And no, I'm not wearing a do-rag. I am wearing my hat backwards. I will probably have to say that multiple times. You know what? No. If you want to think I'm wearing a do-rag, then you can assume I'm wearing a do-rag. That's fine. No, that's not what that is. But yes, welcome back to the stream, guys. Hope everybody's day is going well. It's Monday, October 14th, 2024. MB do-rag. Okay. Well, we could go with that. We could go with that if you want. I see Richrod is here. What's up, Richrod? You keep it clean today, Richrod. You hear me? I don't know if you're planning on donating, but you keep it clean. No violence. How am I doing? I'm doing okay. Right now, I'm doing okay. The lighting looks off. Yeah. Hold on. I think I know what it might be. Let's see. My God, why do I look like that? I don't know. I don't know if that helped it or not. I feel like I look super pale. I don't know why it looks like that. We have Shadow Link using his 14-month milestone chat. Being absolutely cursed. He says, MB Gangsta Skibbity like the stream. LOL. What's up, MBG in chat? Hope all is well. Man, I don't know. I think I'm just going to end the stream now, Shadow Link. That's just so cursed. Skibbity like the stream. Me and Mrs. MBG just watched this video the other day about, like, the next generation of kids and brain rot and how they have, like, their own language now. And Skibbity, like Skibbity, Ohio and stuff. And I don't know. Is it a problem? I guess we'll find out. We'll find out. But Shadow Link, appreciate you being here, man. All right, come on, boss. Bro. Come on. Okay. All right, so today we do have some topics to discuss, some gaming-related topics. We're talking about the PS5 Pro once again, and we're going to be asking the question, my God, why do I look that pale? It's actually bothering me. I'm sorry. What is, like, where is it coming from? I don't understand. I look like a freaking ghost. Whatever. I don't know. Boss, can you explain this? We're going to be talking about the PS5 Pro. Yeah, I don't know where the washed out color is coming from. We're going to be asking the question, was the internet wrong about the PS5 Pro? I want to ask this question and have this conversation with you guys because we are looking at some early indications that the PS5 Pro is going to sell pretty damn well. And, you know, when we look back about a month ago, the reaction that the internet had, and, you know, still seeing the way some people talk about it, were they completely wrong? Oh, Richrod. Richrod. Richrod drops a direct donation starting early today. Richrod legitimately woke up violent today, saying, Colt and Jez, you know I'm not reading that, Richrod. You both are ugly. Cry to MB Gangsta Nation since your console is dead. Cry, cry, you prissy prat pat suckers. Oh, wow. Richrod, where do you come up with this shit, bro? Stupid Xbox butterscotches. Prissy pat suckers. Damn. Oh, trust me, they were crying yesterday, bro. Not necessarily them. You know, not them specifically, but yesterday, a lot of Xbox players did not like my conversation about some Xbox related things yesterday. Specifically, they didn't like what I had to say about Game Pass. They didn't like that I said you can't, not that you can't, but Game Pass doesn't really facilitate the building of a digital library, which I admit, I understand why people took umbrage with that because it's like, okay, maybe that's a bit much to say, because it is true that if you're playing games on Game Pass, you do get like sales and stuff like that, which can encourage you to buy a game digitally, thus encouraging the building of a library. But I guess the point I was just trying to make, that I think mostly everybody understood, was that, you know, something like Game Pass encourages you to subscribe and not buy. You know what I mean? That's basically what I was trying to get at. But, you know, I don't know. They just have some issues with me talking about Xbox, I guess. But Richrod, thank you for the direct donation, buddy. We're going to be talking about Resident Evil 9. The Metacritic page is up, guys. Okay, the official Metacritic for Resident Evil 9 is up, yet the game has not been announced. What could this mean? We're going to be talking a little bit about Hogwarts Legacy. The director's cut leaked, or at least a lot of what's going to be in the director's cut leaked. And we'll see what else we have to talk about. There's not a whole lot to go over today, but you guys are here, so I'm sure the conversation will certainly remain interesting and going in some interesting directions. JMR is saying you buy digitally and physically. I think a lot of people do a little bit of both. I mean, I buy digitally occasionally. When are the Game Awards? I think the Game Awards are December 12th. December 12th. So we have like about 2 months, which is what's weird about the Resident Evil 9 Metacritic page going up already, because it's like, why would they put it up 2 months if it's going to be announced at the Game Awards? Maybe it's not going to be announced at the Game Awards. Maybe it's going to be announced sooner. PlayStation 30th Anniversary Showcase? Is it happening? Are we getting it? I hope so. Maybe another State of Play. I feel like it would be actually more likely to be a showcase than a State of Play, only because getting 2 State of Plays that close to one another doesn't really happen. I mean, it could. Who knows what Sony wants to do, but it was quite surprising that Resident Evil 9 didn't show up at the last State of Play, you know? I think a lot of people were expecting that, because we were hearing rumors about Resident Evil 9 being announced as far back as I think is June, like May or June. And it just seems like the reveal keeps kind of getting pushed back a bit more each time. So, Shadowlink, you're saying you're going to derail me for a split sec? It's all good, man. That's why I've been trying to make sure to make news videos about the topics we cover, because I know a lot of people, they want the information, you know, they want to be able to just go over the topics very quickly, but that's the nature, you know? That's the nature of the streams. Derail, right? Shadowlink, there he goes. He drops a membership gift. Shadowlink, thank you. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I had a strange situation going on yesterday with some membership gifts, but it seems to be sorted out, which is good to see. Sorry, boss. So thank you, Shadowlink, for dropping a membership gift and getting us started today. Guys, before I go any further, I do want to let you guys know, first off, I appreciate your viewership. Thank you for watching live. I also want to make sure to give a shout out to those who can't catch it live, but still tune in. I appreciate the viewership. I appreciate that support. I want you to do me a favor, and I want you to absolutely obliterate, destroy, smash that like button, okay? Believe me, I have like Xbox players that just hate me talking about Xbox. They come in and they like mass dislike my streams, man. So smash that like button, destroy that like button, suplex it, roundhouse it, Spartan rage on it, you know? Let's see if we can get that up to 100 likes. I'd really appreciate that. Shadowlink, you're saying the same thing happened to me before. I never found out why. I tried to gift one day and just couldn't. Yeah, I don't know, man. I've had people let me know before that it's just a thing apparently that happens on occasion. Some people think it's YouTube glitching out, which wouldn't surprise me, because YouTube seems like it's always got some kind of hiccup or something. But yeah, speaking of which, couple of ways you can help support the channel directly. As you guys know, we are fan funded here. I'm only able to produce this content, do these streams, and have these conversations with you because you guys make it possible. The community makes it possible. We don't do sponsorships here on the channel because we don't need to. You guys are the sponsors of the channel. So a couple of ways you can support directly. Consider becoming a channel member. You gain access to exclusive perks. Okay, I'm going to let you know now we will be doing a members lounge after today's stream. Once we cover the topics and finish the stream, we're going to move over to the members lounge. So if you are a channel member, please look forward to that. If that sounds appealing to you, again, consider becoming a channel member. The second way you can support directly is you can drop membership gifts like SHOUTOUT has done here. We're going to strive for a goal of 25. A lot of times we go beyond that, which is fantastic. So consider dropping some membership gifts. The third way is you can drop a super chat, ask a question, give an opinion, make a statement, say something crazy like Richrod, right? Or you can drop a direct donation as well. But yeah, this is how you can support the channel, the content, and the community directly. And basically how you can fan fund. So thank you guys for the support. How many dislikes did my last stream get? I think it got like 68 or something. It was like terrible. It's just because people don't like when I talk about Xbox, and it's like, all right, well, it's to be expected. You know, it's those streams where I talk about Xbox, they're going to get dislikes. But I've also noticed, and I've talked to you guys about this before, there's something going on where I don't know if it's a person or if Microsoft is doing it, somebody's doing it, where they're like creating these fake accounts and they're dropping these comments and they're like upvoting their comments over and over again. And it's painfully obvious. Like they're not even trying to hide the fact that they're doing that. And every time I talk about Xbox, that happens. It's very strange. Waylark, you're saying Sony paid $400 million for Pink Floyd's catalog. Do you think that will affect the gaming division in terms of any short-term future spending / purchases? Well, first off, I didn't know about that. Is that something that just happened, Waylark? Like, is that like breaking news? $400 million for Pink Floyd's catalog. Damn, bro. I like Pink Floyd. Not like a huge Pink Floyd fan. Like, not like a mega fan or anything. But I like them. I've been listening to them since I was young. Do I think that this will affect the gaming division in terms of any short-term future spending purchases? I'm going to say probably not. Probably not. The reason why I say this is because Sony's music division is separate from their games division. So I feel like, Sony allocates a certain budget when it comes to spending. And, they kind of allocate a certain amount of funds for each division when it comes to things like M&A, like merger and acquisition. In this case, I guess, acquiring Pink Floyd's catalog. I mean, yeah. Does this mean we could be hearing some Pink Floyd in some upcoming PlayStation Studios games? Somebody's saying, who's Pink Floyd? Oh, no. I'm certain you've heard a song from them. I'm positive you've heard a Pink Floyd song before. But they're like a very well-known legendary rock band. It's boomer music. I mean, it's good music though. Boomer music or not, I would recommend checking them out. I mean, yeah, they're like from the 60s, 70s. I mean, they were there in the 80s and 90s, but and I have another direct donation from Richrod. Richrod going off right now. He's saying Colt and Jez. He says, Colt and Jez, take your future Xbox Fire Sticks, turn them sideways, and stick them up your butterscotch candy asses. Wow, my God. Richrod, why are you making me read this, bro? That's funny, though. Like, with the Fire Sticks, turn them sideways. Richrod's going nuts. Colt, so ugly. Boss looks better. I'm not reading that second part, bro. Richrod making me squirm over here, man. Poetry at its finest. Cobb Sanity says they call them Xbots for a reason, MBG, LOL. I mean, yeah, like, it's pretty bad. I don't have, like, a problem with Xbox to a degree where, like, again, it's to a point where people blatantly ignore anything good I have to say about Xbox, and that's fine. I expect that, but just seeing how much of a reaction that I get from people without even trying, where there's like a whole thread of people being triggered from like a 6-minute clip of what I had to say yesterday about Game Pass and how it doesn't really facilitate. It doesn't necessarily encourage building a digital library the same way that just flat out buying games a la carte does. And it's nuts, dude. It's like, whoa, okay. I'm not trying to do that. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to piss Xbox players off, but at the same time, like, I gotta speak my truth in a way where it's like I gotta just be honest about how I feel about these things. So, but okay, all right, guys, let's see if we can push for those 25 memberships today, because Boss is already being a little baby here, begging for his treats. He's clearly starving for some reason, even though I fed him multiple times this morning. Look at this guy. Who cares if you piss them off? They're a tiny minority in the gaming space. They don't matter. Which, it's kind of true, you know? I mean, you're talking about not like Xbox players, but the fans that get all worked up over stuff. I mean, I get it. It's probably hard right now because I don't know. I'll be honest, man. I'm not saying that Xbox players like can't have a good reason to enjoy the brand right now, because if you have Game Pass and you're excited for Call of Duty, you're excited for Indiana Jones, Avowed, and Stalker 2, it's like, yeah, you got good stuff, but in terms of just like the future of their ecosystem and the future of the business, I don't know, man. It seems like it's kind of all over the place. So yeah, I imagine it would cause like confusion. And it happens. It happens. The truth is rough if you are grasping straws. Speaking of truth, PS5 Pro, was the internet wrong about the PS5 Pro? MP First reports PlayStation 5 Pro is now the best-selling console on Amazon in the US and other countries. The PlayStation 5 Pro has now become the best-selling console on Amazon in multiple countries, including the United States, despite its higher price point of $700, which has been the target of criticism. The console seems to have captured the interest of gamers, with pre-orders rising fast. Several Amazon listings show the PS5 Pro leading sales charts in countries like the US. The console's popularity might seem surprising considering the backlash over its price and missing features such as the vertical stand that is not included. However, the improved technical specs, including the ability to run games at higher resolutions at a more consistent frame rate, seems to have convinced many buyers. And so, yes, this is something that I saw kind of making the rounds, is that the PS5 Pro, it's not only is it outselling Xbox consoles, it's outselling all consoles. The PS5 Pro is, at least when I checked the Amazon bestsellers this morning, I think it's sitting at the number 7 spot for video games. And the only items that are ahead of it are currency cards, like Roblox currency cards, Xbox currency card, and a PlayStation currency card. So we have this $700 console, this $700 hardware, literally now competing in the same space as top selling currency cards. And this is why I want to ask, was the internet wrong about the PS5 Pro? Because I'm telling you, man, if we go back even just a couple weeks, and I know how these things work, people, they always just move on to the next thing, within just 24 to 48 hours. But people were going nuts about the PS5 Pro. Not only were they going nuts, but everybody and their mother and their grandmothers, for that matter, had an opinion on the PS5 Pro. They had to make a video about the PS5 Pro telling you how it's a scam, it's a ripoff, Sony's out of their mind, Sony is crazy for doing this, don't support it, it's going to flop, blah, 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 blah. And if you remember, I was sitting here and I was talking to you guys about it, and I was saying, I understand the sticker shock and I understand the intense reaction, but I have a feeling a lot of people are going to look foolish or a lot of people are going to be completely wrong. I have a feeling that as the weeks go on and as we get closer to the launch, people are going to stop complaining about the PS5 Pro, and the truth is going to come out, or a different realization is going to occur where people are going to kind of, all the people who are screeching and the angry mob, like the angry mob's going to move on to something else, you know? Yeah, to farm engagement. The angry mob's going to move on to something else. And what we're going to see is that the PS5 Pro is actually desirable. The PS5 Pro is something that people are actually buying and supporting, and it's going to do probably pretty well. And here we are, again, sitting at the #1 spot, especially the fact that it's sitting at #1 in the US is a big deal because the US is like the biggest market. So you're saying the Pro is no competition. This isn't news. I mean, the Pro does have competition. The Pro has competition with every console that's being sold right now. The base PS5 is competition to the Pro. The Switch is competition to the Pro. The Xbox Series X and S are technically competition to the Pro. PC is supposed to be competition to the Pro, you know? And I think it's just fascinating to watch how this all played out. It's fascinating to watch, watch a situation unfold where it went from, man, we're just all going to point and laugh at this console and convince everybody that nobody wants it and that nobody cares for it. And then because that's the thing, like, I just want to know, like, all the people who were making their videos and jumping on the hate bandwagon, like, where's the content now? Right? Now that you've been proven wrong, that the console's actually selling well, that it's sitting at #1, that many people are buying this, and there is absolutely a market for it at $700. Where are the videos? Where are they? You won't see them. You won't see them because that's not what's going to generate clicks. The only thing that's apparently going to generate clicks for most of these people is, what can we hate on? Rage bait. The same thing, Microsoft is responsible for 25% of PS5 Pro sales. I mean, they're probably responsible for a certain percentage, yeah. Absolutely. That's a good question, JMR. You're saying, would the popularity of the PS5 Pro affect the cost of the PlayStation 6? It could. It's hard to say. The whole thing, when we talk about how the PS5 Pro could impact the PlayStation 6, the only question we need to ask ourselves is Sony willing to sell the PlayStation 6 and not make a profit? Because the truth is, the PlayStation 6 is likely going to be a more expensive console, just because that's the nature of the beast at this point. The component, the prices of components, they're not going down. We know this. And, expecting more power, expecting a generational leap, expecting these things, it's going to cost more money. It's going to be more difficult for Sony as well as Microsoft to achieve these things. But it really comes down to whether or not Sony's going to be willing to sell it, I don't want to say at a loss, because they're not going to do that. I can tell you that right now. Sony's not going to sell the PlayStation 6 at a loss. Could they sell it at a break-even point? Maybe. Are they going to try to get a profit, though? Probably. And that's the thing about the PS5 Pro, is that, as we talked about yesterday, the PS5 Pro it's selling at a profit. There's no denying that Sony's making profit off of the PS5 Pro. But it is, I would say, it's very valuable data for Sony right now to see just how many people are responding positively. What I think is more likely, all right, what I think is more likely is what Sony might be getting ready to do. And I'm not saying this is highly likely, it's just a possibility. I think Sony might be getting ready to consider doing a 2 SKU PS6 launch, where they might have some kind of very expensive, premium, essentially pro version of the PlayStation 6 ready to go at the launch. They might consider doing that because they might realize that, well, I mean, people, there's a group of people here. We have an audience, like they're willing to pay the premium, and we can use that. We can make that money. But I think Sony is also aware that, like, regardless of how well the PS5 Pro sells, you know, let's face it, guys, the PS5 Pro, here's the truth. The PS5 Pro is not going to sell anywhere near as many units as the base PS5. Regardless of how many people want it, regardless of how well it does, it's not going to get anywhere close to the base $500 PS5 model in terms of sales, nor should it. And that's something that Sony obviously needs to keep in mind when they're moving on to the next generation. Richrod just can't stop himself today. He can't stop. He won't stop with another direct donation. He says, Colt, it's a $2.69 donation by 69 cents. I see what you did there, Richrod. He says, Colt, I want to slap you so hard your mama feels it. Your ancestors reconsider life choices, and Phil Spencer sleeps in bed with a statue of Jim Ryan. Bro, that last part really caught me off guard. Even Boss is like, bro, what? Boss is back there like, bro. Phil Spencer sleeps with a statue of Jim Ryan. I mean, Jim Ryan really messed things up for Xbox, you know? Not gonna lie. For as much crap as we give Jim Ryan, he really wrecked them, didn't he? Jim Ryan probably sleeps well at night being like, I mean, he wasn't perfect, you know? He wasn't perfect. He made some mistakes, but if you think about it, man, he did his job. His job was make sure Xbox doesn't beat you. And he made sure that didn't happen. Granted, it was, you know, a lot of momentum helped him. Phil Spencer falls asleep to the PS5 menu music. You know, I actually can understand that. The PS5 main menu music is extremely relaxing. That's something I've always appreciated about Sony's philosophy and approach to the PlayStation consoles, is they always have this really, I don't know, just calming, peaceful. But Richrod, thank you for the donations, dude. I do appreciate it. How's the chair treating me? It's good. Very good. Like, I was kind of afraid I might end up regretting the purchase. Like, maybe it wouldn't be as comfortable as I thought, or just something would not feel right about it. But after using it for, like a week and a half now, 2 weeks, I think, actually, it's really good. It's really good. Very comfortable. But yeah, man, I think that there are absolutely, you know what? I want to bring this up. Hold on. I want to see if I can find it. I came across this a little while ago. I got to search for it. Here we go. Has Xbox made the right choice? So check this out. This is an article that IGN put out on October 5th, 2024. Has Xbox made the right choice avoiding a mid-gen console this time around? They say our friends at Pure Xbox weigh in, but reading the replies underneath, man, where'd they all go? What happened? Sorry, I was going to read some of these replies, but they... Okay, here we go. So the most upvoted reply said, yes, it did. PlayStation mid-gen does almost nothing. The only thing that's noticeable is the price. Seems like Xbox has their sights set on better things. Like, bro, that's a real reply. That's upvoted. When asking if Microsoft made the right choice avoiding a mid-gen. And it just goes to show, like, I think people... Like, my first question is, what, like, Microsoft has their sights set on better things. What would that be? Continuing to basically abandon their their console fan base. I guess that's better now. I don't know. People are fucking nuts, dude, with the way that they kind of twist this stuff. But PlayStation Pete, you're saying, so MBG, what will be the first game you play on the Pro? I've been thinking about this, man, and I'm not sure yet. I honestly don't know that I'm going to make a decision until I have the Pro. I think I'm going to have to just kind of scan what's available and decide like right then and there. I mean, there are games that are getting updates that I don't know that I want to replay, but I might want to boot up to check out and see how they look. But right now, I'm kind of waiting to find out if Silent Hill 2 is going to get updated. I don't know that I'm going to still be playing Silent Hill 2 by the time the Pro comes out. It's still a couple weeks from now. I imagine I would be done with it, but I might be playing Until Dawn at that time. So Until Dawn apparently is going to be PS5 Pro Enhanced. That could be maybe the first game. Although I don't know that I want that to be the first game. But I have to think about it. I think I'll have an answer as we get closer. I might not be able to make a decision until I have the console. But yeah, Lies of P is getting PS5 Pro Enhanced, and I would like to see what that looks like. Ragnarok's getting PS5 Pro Enhanced. PlayStation Pete, thank you for the super chat, man. This person says Xbox still charges $600 for their console. Now, if they charge 2 terabyte Xbox Series X at $500, now you're talking the Pro is only $100 more with 67% more GPU, 2 terabytes, Wi-Fi 7, while the Series X is still on Wi-Fi 5, 28% faster memory, AI upscaler, and advanced ray tracing. And like, see that it's funny to read a comment like that because it's like, yeah, dude, those are just the facts. That wasn't an opinion. Those are just the facts. And it's so funny to me that like so many people they just avoid like facts like that, you know, where it's like, I don't know that you can avoid that because it's such a vital component to the conversation. Let me see if I can find some other. This other person says, yes, people are catching on to the scam. So according to this person, a mid-gen PS5 refresh, a mid-gen console refresh is a scam. It's a straight up scam, dude. You gotta love it, man. You gotta love who are these people? By the way, I'm reading the comments with the most upvotes. Although they're so scattered for some reason. I don't know why. But let me actually check the article out here. IGN, again, they say the title of this article from IGN is Xbox made the right call skipping a PS5 Pro competitor. Okay, that's the title of the article. They say here, let me move this over. My God, they have so many friggin' ads. They say here, the PS5 Pro with its jaw-dropping price tag is now a known quantity after months of rumors and speculation. But while I totally get the thinking behind mid-gen upgrades, console cycles are lengthy, especially compared to other tech. The PS5 Pro is a really tough sell, even for the most passionate fan. That's why I firmly believe Microsoft has made the right call not to bother with its own PS5 Pro competitor. You gotta love it, man. Destiny mobile game announced. Oh, hold on. Pause the article. Destiny mobile game. Destiny Rising has been announced. A new free-to-play mobile game from NetEase, licensed from Bungie. First and third person. Set in an alternate timeline post-Dark Age era. Closed alpha begins in November. 6-player co-op strikes, PvE, PvP modes, and campaign. the story of Destiny Rising. With the help of legendary Iron Lords, humanity has broken free from the shackles of tyranny and began to rally together against the alien forces intent on its extinction. Amidst the chaos of this early age of the city, a new generation of light bearers, resurrected by mysterious entities known as ghosts, set out to restore humanity's prominence and secure its future. Well, there we go. Destiny mobile game. I don't know, man. How are we feeling? I'm gonna be honest. My just like immediate reaction is I'm good. You know? I'm not really a Destiny player at all. Like, well, I don't know why I say that as if I am. I played Destiny 1 in the beginning, a little bit of Destiny 2 in the beginning, but I wonder how I wonder how Destiny fans are gonna feel about this. Let me see what people are saying real quick. Somebody's asking, is it a money grab or will it actually be good? Interesting direction by Bungie. Honestly, I'm not mad. I'm just glad I have new Destiny content to mess with. Looks awesome. Sees that it's mobile only. Never mind. Oh, wait, it's mobile only. So it's not like, oh, oof. Yeah, that feels pretty weak, dude. It's mobile only. Like, it's exclusively mobile. I don't know about that one, man. It feels like they're a little bit late. Saying graphics look just like the actual game. That's what makes it even stranger that they're keeping it a mobile exclusive. I thought this was going to be one of those like those games where it's like it's available on mobile, but it's also available on like console and stuff. I don't know. I mean, I know that there are some good mobile games. NetEase is a straight no. Somebody post the famous meme, do you guys not have phones? I don't know. I mean, I'm not seeing an overly negative reaction, but I'm not seeing too much positivity either. You know what's really weird to me about this is I don't get it. Sony owns Bungie. How is NetEase involved here? Like, was this like a prior agreement maybe? Like when Sony, yeah, like an old deal. Sony, when they acquired them, they kind of knew this was going to be a thing. Yeah. Well, I guess we'll see what happens. Mobile game equals Asian markets. Yeah. Yeah. Mobile gaming is a microtransaction hell. I don't play mobile games, you know? I haven't dabbled in mobile gaming, honestly, like ever. I'm going to be real. Like, I've never dabbled in mobile gaming. I have no interest. Well, there we go. Had to kind of interrupt the reading of that article to let you guys know that apparently a new Destiny mobile game has been announced. MBG, what's happening with Naughty Dog's new IP? I have no idea. I'll be honest, man, I have no clue what's happening with Naughty Dog. Your guess is as good as mine, bro. Let's go back to this article, though. Let's start over. Okay? So, again, the article comes from IGN, and it says, Xbox made the right call skipping a PS5 Pro competitor. They say here, the PS5 Pro with its jaw-dropping price tag is a known quantity after months of rumors and speculation, but while I totally get the thinking behind mid-gen upgrades, console cycles are lengthy, especially compared to other tech. The PS5 Pro is a really tough sell, even for the most passionate fan. That's why I firmly believe Microsoft has made the right call to not bother with a PS5 Pro competitor. So this to me is highly problematic because this is why Xbox fans, not even fans, this is why Xbox is doing what they do. This is why Xbox has fallen so far and why I'll be honest, their fans have been, I think, just kind of treated pretty poorly overall. You know, those who bought into the ecosystem, those who bought the console, the fact that there are people who were like, you know what, Microsoft, I think you're making the right decision to not compete with something Sony's doing. And I think it's a bunch of bullshit. I'm going to be honest with you, man. I think it's a lot of bullshit that people really think, or that people basically, certain Xbox fans are trying to convince themselves that they wouldn't be, that they don't care that they're not doing a mid-gen refresh. Like, let's face it, guys. If Xbox was doing a mid-gen refresh to compete with the Pro, Xbox fans would be going nuts right now. They'd be like, hell yeah. Like, they're the same group of fans that love to hear Microsoft talk about teraflops, dude. But now we're just going to pretend like, nope, you made the right call, Microsoft. We don't need a more powerful machine. However, when you look at the fact that the Series X has probably, I mean, it's probably barely actually been utilized, you know? I guess I can understand it from that point. But the article continues here by saying the last time we had mid-gen systems in the PS4 and the X was with the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X. 4K TVs were becoming much more commonplace, so an upgrade that supported this tech made total sense. Additionally, Microsoft also had a weak console launch with 2013's Xbox One, and so there was an opportunity to flip the narrative by pushing out an upgrade. That's exactly what happened, because the Xbox One X was a fantastic system and arguably the one to go for compared to the PS4 Pro, because it provided a bigger leap from the base Xbox One and was ultimately more powerful than Sony's offering. The Xbox One X certainly made the back half of last gen a much better place to be as an Xbox fan and follower of the industry. Dude, so let me get this straight. While we explain, we're going to start out this explanation of why Microsoft made the right choice to not make a Pro by saying the Pro is too expensive and Microsoft did a fantastic job with the Xbox One X. If anything, shouldn't that mean that they should absolutely be doing a mid-gen refresh? Like, that makes no sense. I mean, I guess it makes sense from the position of, well, the Xbox One was underpowered, so the One X is more justifiable. I mean, sure, but dude, like, you could make the same argument for the Series S. You know, I know the Series X exists, but I don't know, man. The PS5 Pro still basically stomps the Series X. It's just a weird angle to take, in my opinion. It's automatically a weird angle to take, where it's like, when the mid-gen refresh consoles were necessary last generation, Xbox did it better. But now they're not necessary, and PlayStation's stupid. It's kind of funny. I'm not going to lie. It's kind of funny. Omen86 drops a super chat saying reason for buying a Pro. Power. Power, bro. The power factor. What? The teraflops don't matter now? Where's all that 12 T-flop hype? Where's that 12 T-flop hype? We got 33 T-flops now, boy. Where's the hype? You're saying watch John's impressions, Digital Foundry, PS5 Pro. I'll probably check that out a little bit later. I want to finish this article. Xbox. So the article continues by saying, enter the PS5 Pro. Or wait, hold on. I skipped ahead too far. It says, fast forward to 2024 and the world and the games industry is a different place. Inflation has run rampant in recent years, which has meant the prices of goods aren't coming down in the same way they did years before. Xbox Series X and PS5 are still, broadly speaking, at launch day price levels. Heck, a PlayStation DualSense controller actually costs more now than it did at launch. And for the hardware to maintain those prices after 4 years on the market would have previously been unheard of. Enter PS5 Pro. Despite the immensely challenging times we live in, Sony has decided a mid-gen upgrade is still worth pursuing. The problem for many is that the $700 price tag attached to that upgrade, plus it still feels like this generation is only just kicking into gear with the existing hardware lineup, let alone something new. With the potential of the Xbox Series X and S to fully tap into over the next few years, I genuinely believe Microsoft doesn't need another console in its lineup. Like, who's going to tell them? Who's going to tell them? Who's going to let this writer know? Bro, the full potential of the Series X and S is not going to be tapped into in the coming years. You know? I'm just going to be honest. I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, it could. Maybe with like some of their exclusives, but I don't know. I think that it's been like 4 years at this point, and I just don't know that we're going to... I think there's more to get out of the Series X, but I don't know that you're going to get that much more. It says here, Xbox clearly believes well, that's a typo. Xbox clearly believes it still has room to impress on the Xbox Series X and S, and I'm inclined to agree. Sony is struggling to make a compelling case for the PS5 Pro. At least that's what it looks like on the Xbox side of the fence. PSSR, its bespoke AI upscaling solution, will no doubt have a major effect on the platform in the future, but it still feels like a distinctly PS6 feature at this stage. Early previews and impressions from tech outlets such as Digital Foundry are positive about PSSR, but right now I'm struggling to see where my $700 would be going. Admittedly, I'm looking at the benefits of the improved hardware on YouTube and not natively on a PS5 Pro. But that's the case for the majority of folks interested in buying this thing. Right now, we're only just getting into the territory where actual current gen only games are a thing. 2023 really was the year where both Microsoft and Sony stopped putting out games on their respective last gen systems, and third-party developers are slowly following suit as well. Xbox clearly believes there's still room to impress with the Series X and S, and I'm inclined to agree now developers are able to focus their efforts rather than worry about cross-generation performance. It says here, I had to struggle through the barren spell at the start of this generation along with the rest of the Team Green's followers, but at least we're due a busier few years to come on the Xbox Series X and S. 2025 should be a killer year for Xbox, and in my opinion, doesn't need a pricey hardware upgrade to achieve that. Phil Spencer himself believes it too. So Xbox made the right call to skip a mid-gen console this generation, and in a way, PS5 Pro's existence might actually benefit the next Xbox, as third-party developers will no doubt be testing out some of the system's work-in-progress features before they become a real fixture for next-gen consoles. For the time being, though, I'm happy to save my $700 and wait a couple of years for Microsoft's next huge leap of a next-gen system, and I'm fine sticking with my compromised performance mode on the Xbox Series X in the meantime. Dude, that last part... So, the whole part about the PS5 Pro benefiting the next-gen Xbox, that's not how that works. PSSR is not going to be available on Xbox. PSSR is going to be available on PlayStation. And developers who are making games, getting familiar with PSSR right now, are making PS5 Pro games, they're getting a head start for the PS6. That actually hurts the Xbox. The fact that right now, Xbox does not have an AI upscaling solution of their own for their next generation Xbox console that developers can begin to get familiar with is actually going to do the opposite of what this person thinks. And I'm not saying that to like dunk on them. It's just, I think this is where some Xbox players are truly not understanding like how when we enter next generation, what we perceive as the next gen leap, the biggest technical leap, whatever you want to call it, it's going to be very different from previous years. It's not going to be focused on optimizing for the GPU and getting the most out of it all the time. right? I mean, those are things that are obviously going to be necessary, but there's going to be more to it with this AI upscaling technology, right? And machine learning. These are things that devs are going to need time to really get, really get accustomed to. And that's just a crazy point that I think was attempted to be made there, man. But Omen86 with another super chat. Thank you, buddy, saying, think about it. Halo, Xbox's biggest IP switching to generic UE5. Even their biggest IP doesn't justify a bespoke engine to get out the most. Saying Decimus flexing. I did see some people talking about that, Omen, that like they actually see Halo switching to Unreal Engine 5 as like kind of a bad thing. Like they don't even, like you're saying, they don't even have their own proper engine or their own bespoke technology. I saw that there was kind of a rumor. I didn't look too deeply into it, but apparently Halo Infinite 2 was in early development and it was going to be in the Slipspace engine, but it just basically fell completely apart. And it just seems like Halo had to be completely rebooted. I'm inclined to believe that Halo switching to Unreal Engine 5 is for two main reasons. Number one, talent. I think that one of the things Microsoft desperately needs to, or not Microsoft, but Halo Studios needs, is they know that they need talent. That studio got gutted. 343 Industries got gutted after Halo Infinite and in the last couple of years. And it's clear that it's just like full reboot over there. But they need talent. They need new people to come in, and by them being able to say, hey, we're building our next game in Unreal Engine 5. There's a really good chance that a developer applying is going to have experience with Unreal Engine 5, or at least Unreal Engine in some case. But that's point number one. Point number two, multi-platform development. I really do think that. I think that multi-plat development for Halo is clearly a thing that's beginning. And this is why I think reading this article is just crazy, because I almost feel kind of sorry for Xbox players in a sense, where it's like the leadership at Xbox is basically they're turning to you and they're saying, we're going to take some of our games, and we're going to put them on the PS5. So we are in some way, shape, or form beginning to devalue your purchase. We're not going to do a mid-gen refresh. Okay, we're not going to give you a competing mid-gen console that's way more powerful to compete with the Pro. And I feel like there are just Xbox players right now, like when I'm reading this article, where they're just like, that's okay. I'm still happy with my Xbox. I think it'll still be great. I think everything will be fine. And it's like, okay, I don't know. I just don't know where this comes from. We have a direct donation from Moonshot. He says, the honest truth is Xbox never was going to do a mid-gen due to their catastrophic call to release the Series S. Look at the problem right now with parity. Yeah, I'm in agreement with that as well, Moonshot. I think that's another thing that maybe is just the reality. It's worth noting, apparently both Moore's Law is Dead and Red Tech Gaming, apparently they were both told, and they like their inside sources that were correct about what they told them about the PS5 Pro, is that Xbox was apparently in the process of developing a mid-gen Xbox refresh called like the Xbox Series Elite, and it ended up getting canceled. And the Series S is probably one of the reasons it got canceled, because it's like, dude, you're already asking developers to do something they really don't want to do, or at least most of them seemingly are not thrilled to do it, which is optimized for this underpowered next-gen console with the Series S. Now you're going to throw in the Elite. And this is where I think, like, truthfully, Xbox might get left behind, man. Or at least they might be a little bit late. If they kick off next-gen early, maybe that kind of negates the idea of them being late. But, right now, if you watch what Digital Foundry had to say about the PS5 Pro, PSSR is like the biggest thing here, where it's like, damn, dude, this tech is the real deal. Like this is a potentially a game changer, and this is just the first iteration. And developers are already saying how easy it is to leverage and utilize. And Digital Foundry is talking about the long-term potential of it. And it's like, yeah, man, this is this bodes very well for the PlayStation 6 potentially, and developers who are going to make games for the PlayStation 6. Meanwhile, you kind of have Microsoft out here, and they're just like, we're not restocking our consoles in Saudi Arabia. And I don't understand, man. Like, I don't know. I used to play on the Xbox console years ago. I just don't understand, like, how people who care about the Xbox console ecosystem, how they can just be okay with this. Like, somebody made a joke earlier. Well, I don't think it was a joke. I think Shadowlink said earlier, he was like, Microsoft is, responsible for 25% of the PS5 Pro sales. And I'm like, maybe. Yeah. Like, Microsoft marketed their consoles based on the power factor. You want to buy the Series X, you want to buy the Xbox One X because teraflops and power, world's most powerful console. And believe me when I tell you, because I was there. The Xbox fan base rallied around that, and they were hyped about that. And that was their biggest, like, fuck you to Sony. Like, guess what, Sony? We're the most powerful console now. Our games are going to run better. Our games are going to look better. And they ran with that. And that's why I think it's kind of crazy that, like, Sony's coming out and they're like, yeah, we're the most powerful console now by quite a wide margin. And, you can kind of see that, like, I would say there are honestly Xbox players who are probably going to at least some that are going to upgrade to the Pro because they're like, yeah, I want the power factor. Because some Xbox players were there because they were offered the most powerful console with the Series X and the One X before that. It's a weird situation, man. I got a couple more super chats. I also have another direct donation from Moonshot. And he says, this is what IGN and Xbox will not tell you, but think about it. Developers are skipping Xbox now, but you think they were going to introduce another SKU? Come on. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong, Moonshot. It seemingly has gotten to a point where it's like, can we even justify this? If we wanted to do this, can we even justify this? Hold on, somebody's saying Xbox announced the showcase? Oh, Xbox partner preview? October 17th? I'll be honest, man. I think I'm going to tune into that. And the reason being, because the last Xbox partner preview, Metal Gear Solid 3 was there, bro. Metal Gear Solid Delta. The top comment, by the way, on this tweet from Jeff Keighley announcing the Xbox partner preview. I wonder if this guy's an Xbox. He says, more and more Xbox gaming while Sony is selling you trash. The level of delusion is getting out of hand, bro. I mean, I can't tell what's real and what's not anymore. The level of delusion is getting out of hand. All right, we have PlayStation Pete. He says, bought Horizon Remaster for $10, Platinum Trophy transfer save file, and Platinum will pop for PS5. Good stuff, man. I forgot that they were doing that. The save file transfers. Are you planning, PlayStation P, are you planning on replaying it at all? Or maybe checking it out on PS5 Pro? See, we have Marius with a donation. I don't know how much that is. I'm seeing $9.99. I don't know. Well, either way, bro, I appreciate the donation there. Omen86 says, Xbox makes up excuses. There's simply no demand. I agree, Omen. I agree. I think Xbox might have a future with Game Pass. Like, again, I'm really interested to see what Call of Duty does for Game Pass. I think that might be where they have a future of some kind, but I don't think things are ever going to turn around for them at this point. I'd be surprised if it did. I'll be honest. I would be very surprised, and I don't know how they would make it happen, but it's just a weird turn of events, man. Like, to see that, I don't know, people have this like kind of confidence in Xbox, and I'm just always perplexed. It's like, where does it come from, man? Where? I don't understand. Waylark says everyone has a preferred platform. PC players struggle to understand why people chose console and vice versa. Yeah, I guess I see that too. I see that too. The whole thing for me, though, is like, when you see certain things just going downhill, like, it's funny to me, man, that when I say, like, was the internet wrong about the PS5 Pro? One of the things that I've been seeing over the last, I would say, 2.5 years, somewhat consistently, is I've been seeing people kind of talking about how Microsoft is just basically leading the way, so to speak, in that the console is done. The console is going to become irrelevant. It's going to die, and less people are going to care about it. And there's been this kind of attempt to, I guess, convince people that, like, yes, like, this is it. And of course, Microsoft has leaned into this, dude. It's like when Microsoft says, like, you're going to see other companies doing this too. Meanwhile, Sony won't even put Lego Horizon on Xbox. It's like, oh, Nintendo isn't giving them jack shit either. And there seems to be this attempt. I believe it stems from Microsoft, and I believe it kind of perpetuates to the people on the internet who choose to eat it up and believe it. There's like this attempt to like convince people that, like, no, dude, Xbox is like, they know what they're doing. Like, they're the way of the future. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about, man? Like, Xbox is where they are because they got fucking slapped around, like, over and over again. Xbox is where they are because they fucked up. Xbox has to put games on PlayStation because their only solution was to buy publishers. You know? Their only solution was to buy publishers. And that's fine. It's a viable option. But when you choose that option, you got to make money real quick. You got to make that money back. And if you have a platform that's waning, console sales that are stagnating, and growth is like seemingly non-existent on your platform, you're going to have no choice but to start finding other ways to make that money back. And I get it, man. I get it. Like, in the far future, maybe this is where it's headed for all of them. But I don't know, man. I think it's I think that people are confusing the idea of the market leader. I don't want to say the market leader dictates necessarily where the market goes or what happens next, but to basically downplay it and make it seem like they don't have any say in it. It's or like barely any influence. It's like, that's not true at all. Like, again, the PS5 Pro is a perfect example of this, where, believe me when I tell you, man, because I know a lot of you were here. I was here every day last month, every single day. I was here this entire year watching the build up to the Pro. The build up to the Pro is people don't want it. Sony shouldn't do this. There is no point. What is happening? Why are we doing a Pro? Why are we doing a Pro? And then the Pro gets announced and it's a shocking $700. And from that point forward, the internet explodes, and it's no one wants this, man. This is a joke. Sony is a joke now. Meanwhile, here we are. Here we are. The PS5 Pro is now outselling Xbox consoles, bro. It's outselling the Series S. So this is where I'm like done listening to what people have to say, like these haters and these people who clearly, it's like, I get it. You have a stick up your ass because you don't like Sony anymore, because you feel like they're greedy and, you know, they're not giving you games day one on their service and they're not doing what Xbox is doing. I get it. You don't like PlayStation because of that, but that's fine. You know, go do your thing, whether it be on PC or Xbox, but stop trying to insinuate and stop trying to convince yourself and others. Stop trying to convince yourself and others that like PlayStation is not doing it right, that they're somehow floundering or failing. Like, dude, it's quite the opposite. It's quite the opposite. And that to me is the humorous part about it all, where I just continually see it day in and day out. Oh, and another thing, by the way, just to prove to you how delusional and fucking strange a lot of these fans are, whoever these people, I don't know where they come from. They come out of the woodwork. Did you watch my video yesterday? Did you watch the video yesterday titled PS5 is forcing or making Xbox begin to leave markets? And how I covered the news and I told people like, hey, just so you know, sorry, I know I'm like, I got the mic like so close to my mouth. I'm like, just so you know, there's a lot of confusion right now, a lot of misreporting going on. But what's happening is there are no more or very few Xbox consoles left in Saudi Arabia. And retailers that carried the Xbox console were notified. They were notified by Microsoft that they're not going to be restocking them. And Windows Central reported they got a quote from a Microsoft executive or a Microsoft spokesperson or whatever, saying that if the consoles that are there will remain there, like basically saying like you can, if there's an Xbox console there, you can buy them. They didn't clarify whether or not they're going to restock. And it got to a point where the person who reported what was going on with this situation, I think it was Jez Corden who reported it. He put out a tweet like apologizing to the Saudi Arabian journalist that was talking about this. He apologized to him. And I, you know what I see on my video? I see just waves of comments. Why are you reporting misinformation? I thought this was debunked. And this is exactly what I'm fucking talking about. It's like, what are you talking about? What are you like, where are you getting your news from? Where are you getting this information? Like, nothing was debunked. If anything, the people who were trying to debunk it were made to look like fools. And the people who were on the ground there, the journalists who were reporting with photographic evidence, straight up showing you, like, guys, this is happening right now. And this is where this level of delusion and denial, it gets so fucking insane. It's like they try so hard to just make it seem like everything's like, no, you're wrong. If you have something negative to say about Xbox, you're just wrong. It's been debunked. And it was just really painful to watch that because it's like, bro, nothing's been debunked. And somebody left a comment and they were like, I've been hearing since 2022 that when Xbox is going to leave the Africa and whatnot, they're not going to continue to put consoles there. And then the consoles get restocked. It's like, well, will you cover that if that happens? If there is a restock for the Xbox console in Saudi Arabia, you're going to cover that, or is that not newsworthy? It's like, yeah, that's pretty important. Like, it turns out Microsoft isn't leaving a market. They're not abandoning a market. If they announce that and they make that clear, and all the journalists and retailers in Saudi Arabia are like, hey, we're getting Xboxes now. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's so weird to see that people, they're in a level of denial, and I don't know what to tell them anymore, man. I'll keep saying it, I'll keep saying it, but We have Alan Gould. Thank you. That's funny, bro. Alan Gould dropped a super sticker, which looks to be the hippo guy, hippo dude on a gaming chair that's like going back and forth. That's pretty funny. I've never seen that one before. So thank you for that, Alan. We also have Omen86 saying Xbox flexing Game Pass subs while actually PlayStation Plus has more subs. And it's not even Sony's big push. Call of Duty on Game Pass might actually break the bank. Oh, Alan, you're saying that's me when I get mad? Thanks. And look, I don't really have that serious of a problem with Game Pass all in all. I'll be honest. Like, I really don't have much of a problem with it, or at least not as much as some people do. And the reason being is because it's a fine option. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong. I mean, there is a question of like how, if it can be actually be deleterious to, let me clarify. I don't think there's a problem with Game Pass and what it is as a subscription service. The only problem I've ever really had with Game Pass was Microsoft's messaging behind it, where Microsoft is trying to convince people of something that's just simply not true, which is like, oh yeah, no, Game Pass is good. Like, putting games day one into subscription services is good for the industry. And it's like, what proof do you have of that? Oh, that's right. You don't have proof of that. You have proof of the opposite. You have proof that it wasn't enough. That it doesn't matter how many day one games you put in the Game Pass. You didn't grow it where you needed it. It didn't result in what you needed it to in order for it to be good. And I get it. Like, from Microsoft's position, they needed to do that. They had to believe in that. But a lot of people were trying to tell them, like, bro, I don't know. Jason Bourne says Microsoft should have stopped after the 360. There's a reason why Gates didn't want anything to do with that division after 360. You're laughing, saying bring back Sega. Well, a lot of people are we talked about this a bit yesterday, but a lot of people are seemingly very concerned about what's going to happen to Sony now. That now that Microsoft is seemingly not really competing with them anymore. And I don't know. Like, I'm at a point where I want to hope that Sony continues to be as balanced as they can be. Like, I hope that they can be as balanced as they can be going forward, not having direct competition from Microsoft. And it's funny because it's like people seemingly get so mad. It's like PS5 Pro, remakes and remasters, but they just fucking ignore anything else. And that's what I don't get, where it's like, so you're mad at Sony for remastering Horizon Zero Dawn and remaking Until Dawn. A lot of Dawns there. You're mad at them for this, but you're going to ignore Astrobot. You're going to ignore Helldivers 2. You're going to ignore FF7 Rebirth. You're going to ignore Rise of the Ronin. You're going to ignore Stellar Blade. You're going to ignore it. Of course you're going to fucking ignore it. Of course you are, because why wouldn't you? Why would you acknowledge things that are going to immediately negate your hate? You can't. You can't do that. You can't do that to yourself. Robin, you're saying 5 games, LOL. Bro, are you kidding me? That 5 games? Is that not? How many games should it be? How many games have you gotten from Microsoft so far? By the way, I didn't list all the games. That was just the ones off the top of my head. But that's what we're going to do. We're going to say, well, now 5 games. Well, that's still not good enough. This is what I mean, man. It's like, at that point, at what point does it become just goalpost moving? Like, we're just starting to move the goalposts where it's like, I don't know, man. Am I going to watch the Xbox Partner Showcase? I might, because it seems to be a third-party focused showcase, as in the games that are going to show up there are going to be on PS5, so I might. Yeah, Concord, we can't forget that. I mean, I don't know, like, in all seriousness, though, can we count Concord? Because it doesn't exist anymore, for now. I don't know that we can actually, like, legitimately count Concord, because it got released and then unreleased. Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, Wukong, FF16 DLC, Silent Hill 2 Remake, if we're, talking about console exclusives. Leo says he's not counting Concord. Omen86 says Sega sold more Dreamcast than Xbox did Series X's. Is that true? Wait, is that actually true? That's kind of nuts. Metaphor ReFantasio is fantastic. Best Final Fantasy game in years. Apparently that game is really good. I don't know if I'm going to play it, man. I really don't know that I could get into a game like that, but apparently it's really good. I've been seeing how much people really love it. People are really going off about that game. Guys, by the way, do me a favor. We have over 360 people here hanging out. Make sure you hit that like button. All right, we're sitting at 133 likes. Hit the like button to help the stream out. I want to see if we can bump that up to 150. I also want to let you guys know to consider becoming a member. Consider dropping a membership gift. The reason why I'm pushing this right now is because we are going to do a members lounge after this stream. Okay, this is probably not going to be a super long stream, so let's see if we can get that membership counter up. I'm going to encourage you guys to do that. But if you are a channel member, keep that in mind. We're going to be doing a members launch for a little bit after today's stream. Saying, yeah, you looked it up. Dreamcast did sell more than Series X. Oh my God, bro. How many years was the Dreamcast out for before they stopped selling it? Oh, wait, I have some details here about what. So it says, during Xbox Partner Preview, you'll get a first look at gameplay from Alan Wake 2's next expansion, The Lake House, an action-packed new trailer for Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, a peek at multiple bosses in dark fantasy action game Wu Chang Fallen Feathers, multiple world premieres and other great titles. Multiple world premieres. So this is like a third party. Yeah, it's their partner showcase. World premieres, though, huh? I don't know. I might have to tune in. 1998 to 2001. Dreamcast sold 9.13 million. Wait. Oh, okay. You're saying specifically Series X consoles. Okay. All right. I was going to say, I was considering like both Xbox consoles. I didn't think it was going to be like, there's no way. Sounds a bit Jeffish. Let me see. Dreamcast was a legendary console. Yeah, I know a lot of people really love the Dreamcast. I never got into the Dreamcast, I never did. I think my cousin had one, and I played it a little bit. Titus, you still have your Dreamcast? Nice, dude. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't mean to just go on and on here. I know that sometimes saying too much hate here. Sorry, but I did not come here for this. It was a nice podcast. A few months. Cheers. What, are you saying that too much hate on Xbox? It's not so much Xbox that I have the problem with, to be honest. It's the way it goes. It's the fact that, like, it's the rabid fans, man. I'll be honest. Like, I don't really have a problem necessarily with anything Xbox is doing right now because it's like they're just doing their own thing. But we should be cheerleading them. We know what Sony. We all know what Sony will look like or Sony without Xbox looks like. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know how to properly cheer for Xbox in a way that will, better PlayStation other than what I've been doing. And I don't know, I guess I just don't really cheer them on anymore because it just seems like it's over. Saying the quality of the conversation here has gone downhill. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I am too focused on Xbox the past couple days. Let me cheer on $1 trillion corp. Well, I mean, it's interesting to think, man, that the idea of cheering on cheering on Xbox to be more competitive to Sony, to me, what that basically looks like is you got to make your games exclusive and you got to push to sell consoles. And they're not going to do that, They're not going to do that. And I'll be honest, I think what it comes down to, why, because I see people, they were asking me, like, why are you still talking about Xbox MBG? Like, it's over, bro. It's been over for a little bit now. Like, just move on. And I guess really it's because it's over in the direct sense. Microsoft isn't competing with Sony anymore. Rather, they are trying to transform I guess you could say, what would be considered the pinnacle of success in the games industry. And that, to me, is what I don't know. I struggle to kind of let go of it because of that, because I know what Microsoft is trying to do. I think a lot of people maybe know, but when we look at it from like on a deeper level, seeing the way things have unfolded is fascinating to me, where in a matter of just like not even a year, it's been a matter of like 6 to 8 months, we've seen Xbox drop some of their games on PlayStation. We've seen PlayStation drop one of their worst games ever. We've seen Sony drop one of their best games ever. We see certain games for one reason or another not releasing on Xbox, like Black Myth Wukong. We see things pop up like, oh, it's because there's a secret exclusivity deal, but there's really no proof of that, and there's only evidence that that's bullshit. We see things like this pop up. We see things like the Pro announced, and people just absolutely dogpile it and just try to convince themselves and everybody that like nobody wants this thing. And we now are at a point where something Microsoft is doing is working. Something they are doing is working. And if I had to guess, I saw a very stark change in Microsoft around last year. Basically, once Microsoft was challenged by the regulators and Microsoft got directly involved with fighting for ABK, I saw something change within Microsoft's marketing and messaging, and something kind of under the surface, I guess you could say. And trust me, I saw this happen in real time, because what I witnessed was people basically get finessed. You know, people get, I'll never forget, man. I'll never forget one of the most embarrassing things I've ever seen. I was embarrassed for people that I watched this happen to. Do you remember that Lulu Chang Maservi woman? I think that was her name. She was an executive at Activision. And obviously, she wanted Microsoft to acquire Activision Blizzard because she would get a massive payout. She would get rich. She would get rich and she could retire. She was young, too. And she basically started rallying Xbox fans, like radical Xbox fans on Twitter, and getting them to like fight back and beginning to create a narrative and to like back up that crazed narrative. And basically like, hey, who here thinks it's a good thing if Microsoft acquires Activision Blizzard? And everybody who's saying me, because I love Xbox, she like rallied around that. And she really played these people, because as soon as the acquisition went through, she was basically like, thanks, guys, peace. And what people, I guess the reason why I'm bringing that up is because, dude, that's how they all are, man. Like, they are in it for the dollar, they are in it for themselves, and they're in it to get fucking rich. All of them. To get rich and to get as powerful as they can. And they will tell you whatever they need to tell you. And that is why, this is why, the slippery slope with Microsoft, in my opinion, this whole time, and it's only gotten worse, is people not fully understanding what exactly you are advocating for, what you are pushing for, what you are cheering on. Don't get me wrong. PlayStation fans have done it too. I don't want to make it sound like that hasn't happened. I've been part of that. I will admit, like, I made the mistake of cheering on the Bungie acquisition, not realizing, like, dude, do you understand what you're cheering for right now? Because I don't think you get it. Like, this is not a good thing. This is not going to be a good thing. And I realized that. And I realized, I got to be careful here. You know, and that's why I try not to be I try to be more understanding that it's easy to kind of fall into these traps. It happens. But at the same time, man, like, I'm continuing to see it happen. And the reason why I will never be against the way PlayStation approaches their business model, simply put, and Omen, I'm going to read your super chats. I just want to make this last point before I do. The reason why I will never be against PlayStation's business model is because it's clear cut and to the point. It's bottom line. That's why when I look at the $700 PlayStation 5 Pro, there's a part of me that's just like, okay. Like, there's a part of me that I don't know that I want to say, like, I respect Sony, because I think using the term, like, it's not making me respect them, but there's an appreciation. And I know that to some people that sounds wild, but think about it. Like, they're just flat. They're not trying to bullshit me right now. They're not. They put out a fucking 10-minute video where they're like, here's Mark Cerny. He's going to tell you the 3 things this new console does, and we're charging $700 for it. If that sounds good to you, pre-order it. It's $700. And we're going to make sure that there's more PS5 Pro supported games coming. And it's clear fucking cut, dude. They're not trying to oversell it. They're not trying to fluff it up. They're not trying to make it, they're not trying to do any of that. They're just telling you, this is what it is. This is what it does. This is how much it costs. And there's something to be said for that, where they're not to be like, it's interesting because people are like, the PS5 Pro is a tough sell. It's like, I agree. So what's Sony doing? Basically not selling it. Like, they're selling it to a degree, like they have to. They're marketing it to like an appropriate degree, the bare minimum seemingly. But I think they realize, like, listen, man, it is what it is. And we're not going to sit here and try to butter you up. Worth noting, this is the PS5 Pro without Jim Ryan. Jim Ryan, I think Jim Ryan, he was a marketing guy. Really wonder what the PS5 Pro rollout would have looked like with Jim Ryan. Omen, you're saying Sony is in the console selling business. They will need to keep their base happy and interested in next gen. They will not get lazy, don't worry. Problem, Microsoft can't grow their platform and can't sell consoles. Solution, buy publishers and sell games to the one that can sell consoles. Easy, boom, there you go. And you're right. And that's the thing, dude. I think the first part of your super chat is what I feel like I'm kind of fighting against right now. You know? I think the kind of the first part of what you're saying is, you're right. Like, Sony is in the console of selling business, in the business of selling consoles. And it seems to me like basically what people are expecting now with the $700 PS5 Pro and the fact that Microsoft is not doing a mid-gen refresh and there's like minimal competition, it seems like what people might be expecting at this point is, well, clearly this is when Sony goes downhill. This is when they begin to struggle to sell consoles and their sales start to, flatline, right? But I think that, well, like I said, we look at the data, or like based on the minimal data we have right now, it seems like the PS5 Pro is doing fine. It seems like the base PS5 is still doing fine. Games are still selling. Consoles are still selling. Sony's seemingly doing fine. And that, what you said here, like they will need to keep their base happy and interested in next gen. That's true. Like, that's the thing, man, is I think Sony understands that they are at risk of not losing their players to a direct competitor, but just losing their players in general because of them not giving their players what they would want. And that's where, like, dude, I can tell you right now, I want a PS5 Pro. I do. Like, I said it even a couple years ago that, hey, if Sony does a PS5 Pro, I'm not going to be opposed to that. That's an optional mid-gen refresh. I want that. What's wrong with having that option? We got the PS4 Pro. Sure, I'm on board with the PS5 Pro. And that's what I think is funny, is that, like, it feels like sometimes there are people in this space, if you want to call it that try to make it sound like they speak for the entirety of the PlayStation fan base or the entirety of the gaming community. And it's like, no, you definitely don't. I don't speak for the entirety of the gaming community or the PlayStation fan base. And so certainly somebody who has more power and more influence and more viewership and more everything, yeah, of course that can come off as, well, maybe they will have more of influence. But that's where I will say, man, like, something that has really, in a way, kind of surprised me is that for the amount of videos that were made by very popular content creators, people who don't even normally cover PlayStation, and these videos proliferated the internet for like a week or two straight, basically saying, like, I don't know. Like, this seems too expensive, or Sony seems to have lost their minds, or whatever. And the fact that it's still, like, it's I don't know, man. Sony stuck to their guns, and I think it paid off for them, because it's like, yeah, they're still doing fine. Like, this console's still doing just fine. Saying the biggest news in a while is Call of Duty Day 1 on cloud. Yeah, I did see that. I guess we'll see. I don't know. I guess that doesn't sound like big news to me, because it's like, I'm not at all interested in cloud gaming. And I just can't imagine playing a shooter like Call of Duty in cloud. But yeah, that could lead to interesting results for Game Pass. Because I think it's through I think it's Game Pass is available through xCloud. But I feel like I would really struggle to play a game like Call of Duty in cloud. Even like a millisecond, not a millisecond, but even just a couple milliseconds of latency it's like half a second of delay that could screw you. But I did see that. Yeah, I saw that Game Freak got hacked. Weird situation. Well, I do have a couple of other topics to cover before we wrap up the stream because I basically just went on like a tangent. Resident Evil 9, guys. So yesterday, the official Metacritic page for Resident Evil 9 popped up out of nowhere. It's legitimate, and I'm looking at it right now. Metacritic, Resident Evil 9, PS5, view all platforms. They have platforms listed: PS5, Xbox Series X, developer Capcom, publisher Capcom, genre survival. So this caught people off guard because it seemingly indicates that Resident Evil 9 is going to be announced very, very soon. Uh-oh. That's exactly what I was thinking, okay? Resident Evil 9 at the Xbox Partner Show? Uh-oh. Now that would be quite the surprise. That would be, like, honestly, I would be very surprised if that happened. I would be very surprised. The reason being because every piece of Resident Evil marketing and every Resident Evil game reveal has occurred. It has occurred at PlayStation events. Nick says, take that, PlayStation fans. I will say, dude, if I would be genuinely impressed that Microsoft was able to secure things like that because, like, or something like Resident Evil 9, because, dude, first you get Metal Gear. You market Metal Gear. Now you're marketing Resident Evil 9. Saying this is why PlayStation fans can't become too overconfident and think Microsoft has given up. Well, I agree, okay. I think if Microsoft paid for the marketing rights for Resident Evil 9, I don't know, maybe Sony's just kind of letting this stuff go in a way. GTA 6 next. I don't know about that one. Maybe that's why Sony couldn't afford it. Sony couldn't afford Metal Gear marketing. They couldn't afford Resident Evil marketing because they spent all their money on GTA 6 marketing. That's why. Oh, when you're saying, let's present our new game on the world's smallest gaming platform that never did move the needle much for us. I will say, Omen, like, Microsoft has to be paying pretty good money for these marketing rights because I'll be honest with you, like, I've thought about that from the standpoint of, like, being a third-party publisher where, like, I would not feel confident. I'll put it to you that way. Like, I wouldn't feel confident about the idea of I'm going to reveal my new game, you know, for the platform that, frankly, you know, doesn't. Jay Shako, thank you for being on the top of that, man. I wouldn't feel too confident. That's all. It's definitely an interesting choice, right? It's an interesting choice, an interesting decision, but money talks, man. And I think if Microsoft offers them a pretty penny to do it, that's just free money, bro. That's just free money for Capcom that can aid in the development, go towards other projects, go towards their bottom line. Same with Konami. And honestly, what I said about Sony paying for GTA 6 marketing rights, I was kind of joking, but I'm kind of not joking. We're like, dude, I wouldn't be surprised if Sony did pay for GTA marketing rights and they can't afford anything else for a while, because that would have been very expensive. That would have costed them a lot of money. But if you're Sony, I would say securing GTA marketing rights is vital. I mean, I just feel like that's the one you probably want to go for. But yeah, I don't know. I'm going to be tuning in now. When is this happening again? Let me check. Because I didn't think about that till just now. Resident Evil 9 and an Xbox partner, October 17th. So that is Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Oh, well, that's convenient. That's pretty much when I'll be streaming. So yeah, we can watch that. I actually hope, I'm going to be honest, like now I kind of hope Resident Evil 9's there because that'd be exciting. Nice big game announcement. Yeah, that would be a little bit disappointing. We probably wouldn't be able to see it marketed on the Pro or something like that, which would be a little bit disappointing, but my hope is that they would support it. It is worth noting here that on Metacritic, they don't have it listed for the Series S. But I don't know if they list this. I don't think they list it that way. I don't know. I don't know how they do it. Yeah, Resident Evil 9 is revealed at the Xbox partner event. At the bottom, it says running on PS5 Pro. I don't know. I don't think they would skip the Series S. But who knows? Monster Hunter Wilds is PS5 Pro enhanced. Capcom seems to be on board. I do think Capcom's on board with the Pro. Yeah. I think they're on board with it. So if Microsoft did have the marketing rights to Resident Evil 9, I still think it would end up being PS5 Pro enhanced. So we're at the hour and 47-minute mark. We're going to be going for a couple more minutes here. Like I said, today's stream was going to be on the shorter side. We're going to be moving over to a members lounge in a couple minutes. So I kind of want to put this out here now. If you want to drop any member gifts or become a member, now is the time to do so, because once this stream ends, we're moving over there. Saying gamers counted Nintendo out after the Wii U, and then they came out with the Switch. Oh, yeah, true. I didn't talk about Hogwarts yet. My bad. That's what happens when I get so focused on one topic. Let me read this report to you guys really quick. Hogwarts Legacy Definitive Edition, or what was known as the Director's Cut, we have a leak, basically, regarding this. It says, new information regarding a Hogwarts Legacy Definitive Edition has unearthed. This includes new content players can expect, the possible price tag, and a very broad release window. According to a report from Tom Henderson on Insider Gaming, Hogwarts Legacy Definitive Edition will include around 10 to 15 hours of additional content and release sometime in 2025. This includes a new story quest, side quest, activities, and outfits. It was also said that the new content will be sold separate or as separate DLC. Pricing is still unknown, but it has been suggested it will be between $20 and $30. Additionally, Henderson sources suggest it's releasing in 2025 to aid increasing revenue after Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League's poor sales performance. The existence of a new Hogwarts Legacy release was reported by Bloomberg's Jason Schreier. Assuming the director's cut Schreier reported on and the aforementioned Definitive Edition are the same project, Rocksteady Studios may be helping with its development. So, what do you guys think of this? And I see we have OK dropping a membership gift, and Shems as well. So, 2 single membership gifts coming in. One from OK, one from Shems.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Good stuff, guys. Good stuff. Yeah, again, I want to encourage anybody, if you want to drop singles, drop 5 bombs, whatever you want to do, now is the time to do it, because we're going to be wrapping this up very soon. Let me update that. What do you guys think of this Hogwarts Legacy Definitive Edition or the Director's Cut? I think it's going to be called Director's Cut. It says about 10 to 15 hours of new content. I mean, that's pretty substantial, right? To me, that feels pretty substantial. I don't know that I don't know. I don't know that I would go back and play it, though. I guess I'd have to see. I'd have to see, like, what exactly this new content is. But 10 to 15 hours, that's pretty, I mean, I don't want to say that's like a game, but I guess it depends, right? If it's mostly like side quests and stuff and just random stuff that's not going to be as consequential. But I find it interesting that they're doing this. I'm not surprised, though. I mean, Hogwarts Legacy sold like 23 million units. So them trying to capitalize on this and, you know, get more out of the squeeze, I get it. How did it play on console? It struggles on my 4090. It was okay. I think it had some frame rate issues, but it was mostly okay as far as I remember. I don't know, though. Apparently I miss stuff when I'm playing. Like, for example, Silent Hill 2 Remake. Apparently there are problems with it where it stutters and stuff in performance mode. And I don't know. I'll be honest with you, man. Like, I haven't had any problems. Like, I think there were like occasionally some things I ran into where like I could notice a couple hitches, but nothing that like interfered with my gameplay experience. So I'm saying like it could have been worse than I realized. Sometimes I just miss this stuff. King Sam, you're saying, MBG, don't all games that release on PlayStation from now on need to have PS5 Pro versions if they want to release on PlayStation? Let me see. I don't know. Guys, chat. Shems is saying no. I feel like it's not a mandate. Oh wait, yeah, you're saying they had till early September? No, I think yeah, I don't know. I'm confused at how it works. You're saying Digital Foundry said it's required to support the Pro if publishing on PS5. Whoa, boss, bro. Whoa now. Is this the way it was for the PS4 Pro? I always thought it was like optional. Oh, bro, we got R. Kelly back in the chat. Does anyone want to buy some of my lemonade? Come on, man. Not again. Not again, bro. Boss, you are stressing me out. You need to get down. Come on. Illegal monkey screaming. I'm fighting for my life. This is how you know the stream is close to coming to an end. Oh, damn. Jay Shako hit him. Jay Shako's like, we can't have any of that nonsense in here. All right, guys, this is it. Ow, boss. Bro, what are you... This is it, guys. The last push. We're nowhere near hitting the goal of 25, but one of you could do it right now if you wanted. Somebody could do it right now. Somebody could drop a 50 bomb right now. Somebody could drop a 20 bomb. Somebody could do it because boss, he's getting irritated. He's irritating me. Boss is committing domestic violence. Yes, who the hell is Carlos? You can donate 50 or 500. But yeah, guys, we're gonna wrap up in just a couple minutes here. Saying stop begging, that's lame. No, I'm not begging. I'm just letting people know we're gonna be wrapping up the stream. We got just a few more minutes here. We're gonna move over to the members lounge. If you are a member, the stream's gonna pop up as soon as this one ends. Probably within like 5 minutes after this one ends. We'll hang out there for a while. And to be clear, I'm not begging, bro. It's boss does this to me. You know? Like, I don't like breaking my rules because I feed boss the treats when we hit 25 and boss therefore stops annoying me. But when he starts annoying me when we're not close to the goal, now I have to start annoying you guys. I've created this terrible loop for myself and for you guys. Damn, Titus. All right, boss. All right. I just, I try not to break my rule of giving boss snacks when we don't hit the goal because I feel like that's discouraging people, you know? It's discouraging people. It's creating bad habits. Boss needs to get a job. Yeah, bro, get a job. Just start buying some of your own treats. SDO says, yo, MVG, no one wanted the PS5 Pro yet. It outsold both the Xbox Series S and X this year. PlayStation has no games yet for the game. Yet 4 of the Game of the Year nominations in 2024. You can only play them on PS5. I know, dude. You're preaching to the choir, SDO. Trust me, I get it. I get it. All right. That sounds pretty scary. Who the hell is Carlos? Yeah, I don't know. You might need to get your home exercise or something like that. But guys, this is where we're gonna this is where we're gonna wrap up today's stream. We're gonna move over to the members lounge. So to all my members, I hope to see you over there. It'll probably be a relatively short one today, but we'll hang out for a while. And before I go, I do want to thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for all of the continued support. I want to make sure I thank everybody for the membership gifts, for any super chats, for any direct donations. Again, we are fan funded. You guys make all of it possible. So thank you guys so much for what you do for me, for Boss, for the community. Couldn't do it without you. So, all right. Also want to give a shout out to Devil Shooter. He does the timestamps for the streams. He does a great job. If you guys see him in the comments, give him some thanks. Show him some love. I know he really appreciates it. And man, yeah, now we got, wow, okay. Space Gambler Jr. and Jay Shocker are like, what is going on, bro? All right. So to all my members, I'll see you in the lounge. To everybody else, I will see you in the next stream. So that does it. Enjoy the rest of your day. Guys, I will catch you in the next one. Until then, take care, everyone.